All right, let's talk about one of the most intense digital battlegrounds out there, cybersecurity. This isn't just about hackers versus defenders anymore. We're in the middle of a massive shift in how we protect everything, and it's all being driven by artificial intelligence. So let's just right in. I want you to just picture a modern security team for a second. They are getting hammered with millions of alerts. The number of things they have to protect is exploding. And the bad guys? They're getting faster and sneakier every single day. The sheer volume of data is it's a fire hose. So you have to wonder, can even the most brilliant human experts possibly keep up all by themselves? And this is really the heart of the matter. AI isn't showing up to take anyone's job. It's here to be a force multiplier. This is the big idea for us today. These tools amplify the skills of security pros, making them faster, sharper, and way more effective. It's about letting them see more, do more, and react in a fraction of the time. So what does this actually look like day to day? Well, let's start at the very beginning, with the absolute first line of defense, prevention. This is all about building stronger walls and making sure the doors are locked before anyone even tries to get in. You know, every single app, every website, it's all built on code. And so often, a huge vulnerability starts as just a tiny little mistake in that code. Code linting is kind of like an automated proofreader that scans for errors. Traditionally, it was pretty good at catching typos or style issues. Now this is where things get really cool. Look at the shift here. The old way cared about syntax, basically what the code says. The new AI-powered way cares about intent, what the code is trying to do. So AI can see a chunk of code is meant to handle a password and immediately ask, hey, is this being done securely? It's not just following a generic rulebook anymore. It gets the context. That's a huge leap. And what this does is it perfectly illustrates that shift-left idea you hear about in the security world. All that means is catching problems as early as possible. By finding and fixing these little bugs right when the code is being written, you're stamping out vulnerabilities at the source. And trust me, that is infinitely cheaper and safer than trying to patch a problem after the product is already out in the wild. Okay, another huge piece of the prevention puzzle is threat modeling. This is basically thinking like a hacker. Before you even build something, you draw it out and ask, okay, if I wanted to break this, where would I start? What are the weak spots? It's a really creative, but also really time-consuming process. And here we go again. AI is that force multiplier. It can look at a complex system diagram and instantly highlight where the potential attack surfaces are. It can suggest common attack types based on well-known lists like the OWASP Top 10. And maybe most importantly, it helps us game out brand new threats that are specific to AI itself, like prompt injection attacks. It just makes this whole critical process so much faster and more complete. All right, so we've built a much smarter shield, but what happens when a really determined attacker manages to sneak past it anyway? Well, now we shift from prevention to detection, actively hunting for threats that might already be inside. And this is like looking for a single needle in a massive, massive haystack. And the secret to finding that needle is something called anomaly detection. The idea isn't to look for something you already know is bad. The idea is to understand what normal looks like so well that you can instantly spot anything, no matter how small, that just doesn't fit the pattern. So how does it pull this off? First, the AI just watches and learns the baseline. It gets the rhythm of the network, who logs in when, what servers usually talk to each other. Then it flags anything that deviates. A user logging in from a new country at 3 a.m., a server that suddenly wants a file it's never touched before. And then, this is the magic part, it connects all those little weak signals together to see the bigger picture, connecting dots a human might easily miss in all the noise. The value here is just massive. This is exactly how you catch the most dangerous kinds of attackers, the ones who don't trip any loud alarms. They operate low and slow, trying to blend in. AI-powered anomaly detection is tailor-made for spotting those faint whispers over time. Okay, now we're at the moment of truth. An alarm has been confirmed. There is an attacker in the system. The clock is ticking, and literally every second counts. This is a flat-out race to contain the damage and kick the intruder out. And this is the brutal reality for a security analyst in that moment. It is pure information overload. They're trying to make sense of thousands of lines of cryptic logs coming from dozens of different systems, all while the pressure is just immense. They're basically looking for a story that's buried under a mountain of raw data. This is where AI summarization completely changes the game. It takes that mountain of data and poof, turns it into a clear, simple summary. It can tell the analyst, okay, here's what happened, here's who we think it is, and based on our playbook, here are the 3 things you need to do right now. It cuts straight through the chaos and lets the human expert do what they do best, make critical decisions.
And this chart just says it all. We're looking at 2 huge metrics here: mean time to detect, how long it takes to find a bad guy, and mean time to respond, how long it takes to stop them. As you can see, AI absolutely crushes both of those timelines. And that difference, that's not just a number. That's the difference between a small problem and a complete disaster.
So let's pull all these threads together. We've seen how AI strengthens our defenses, sharpens our detection, and turbocharges our response. It's pretty clear this isn't just another tool in the toolbox. It's becoming a totally essential part of any modern security strategy.
This really sums up the whole package. AI helps us prevent attacks by building better stuff from day one. It helps us detect threats we would have otherwise missed. It helps us respond faster to minimize the damage. And it strengthens our governance, making everything more consistent and reliable.
But this brings us to what might be the most fascinating and, frankly, crucial point of all. It's kind of a paradox. As we build more and more incredible systems that run on AI, we're also creating brand new ways for things to be attacked. And it turns out the best way, maybe the only way, to defend these new AI systems is with, you guessed it, more AI. So what does that actually mean? Well, it means using one AI to spot attacks, like prompt injection, that are designed to fool another AI. It means analyzing the behavior of our own models to see if they're being secretly manipulated. And it means helping our human teams make sense of an attack when one of our own AI systems is the target. It really does take an AI to know an AI. So, we're going to leave you with this final thought to chew on. We know for a fact that attackers are already using AI. They're using it to write better malware, to craft more convincing phishing emails, and to automate their own attacks. The game is changing at lightning speed. So the question isn't really, should we use AI in our defenses? The real question is, can we possibly afford not to?